Hello, everyone. Today's presentation is called Top 10 Things to Know About Starting a Personal Injury Lawsuit. The first thing is it is important to timely preserve evidence. Promptly take pictures of the scene of the accident. Also try to locate surveillance video at the scene of the accident. Evidence of the accident can play a major role in your lawsuit. It is important to gather evidence timely to ensure it is preserved. For example, you might have slipped on some ice at the scene of the accident, and it's important that you take pictures of what specifically you fell on at the time of the accident, because that evidence will disappear shortly afterwards. Also, you might have tripped on a crack in a sidewalk, and you might find that the landlord, the property owner, might decide to repair that crack shortly afterwards, and you will not have that critical evidence that you would have had you had taken the picture of the crack at the time of the accident. Also, there might be surveillance video from a nearby store that is only preserved for 2 or 3 weeks. And so it's important that you try to get a hold of that video as quickly as possible. Promptly seek medical attention. Many times an injury will be more serious than the victim at first realizes, and because of this, they will not promptly seek medical attention. It is important to seek medical attention right away, as some injuries are time sensitive and will have a far greater recovery outlook if they are promptly addressed. Also, insurance carriers will weigh the promptness in seeking medical attention in assessing the seriousness of the injury. Gaps in medical treatment. It is important to take your medical rehabilitation seriously. A gap in medical treatment will weigh negatively on your lawsuit and the insurance carrier's determination of the seriousness of your injury. Number 4, do not delay in starting the lawsuit. This is important. All lawsuits are limited by what's called the statute of limitations. The statute of limitations are time restrictions put on every single lawsuit that restricts how long you can take to start the lawsuit. There are very strict guidelines, and once the time limit passes, very often there's no recourse. Do not be afraid. Many people are overwhelmed by the idea of being involved in a lawsuit. Specifically, they're afraid of the idea of having to appear in court, whether it be to testify in front of a judge and a jury, and just the general idea of having to be in a courthouse. The overwhelming majority of personal injury lawsuits, however, settle prior to the commencement of an actual trial, and the overwhelming majority of plaintiffs in personal injury lawsuits never actually appear in a courthouse. By hiring a competent attorney, you should be able to be less stressed, as your attorney will be responsible for all the steps necessary to successfully adjudicate the action. Avoiding necessary medical treatment. Many times a doctor will recommend surgery for an injured party. The injured party might avoid the surgery either because they're afraid of surgery or they're concerned about the cost. However, it's important to take into account that avoiding that necessary surgery might seriously impede recovery. Furthermore, the failure to get the surgery will weigh negatively on the value of a case. Very often, cases in which surgery is involved, the value of the case will be far greater. Number 7 is take good notes. It is advisable to take lengthy notes about the details of the accident. A personal injury lawsuit can potentially drag on for a few years, and the victim's recollection of the accident might not be as sharp as time progresses. It is much more helpful to your case, especially if you eventually get called to a deposition, if you have a clear recollection of the details. Number 8 involves the deposition. Getting prepped properly for a deposition is important. When plaintiffs appear for a deposition without being adequately prepared by their lawyer, it hurts their case. Your lawyer should take the time to prepare you till you are fully comfortable with the questions you are to expect. Stick to the truth. Do not guess when responding to a question, and only respond to the question specifically without going off on a tangent. Also, only respond to a question once you fully understand what you are being asked. Number 9 is maintain good records. Your attorney will need to seek medical records from all the medical professionals you have visited. By keeping clear records of all the facilities you have visited, as well as the duration you have gone there for, it will make it far easier for your attorney. Save all the receipts from any medical payments you have had to outlay. This will be helpful to get the maximum possible recovery. Finally, number 10, it's important to hire a skilled attorney. It is important to hire a lawyer that is skilled and has experience to handle your specific case. The lawyer also should be willing, if necessary, to continue the case to trial. Some lawyers like to settle cases as soon as possible. This will impede your ability to get the maximum possible recovery. Also, if your lawyer has a reputation that he tries to settle cases early, the insurance carriers might pick up on this and they might not be willing to give out the maximum possible settlement amount. They'll be much more willing to give out a higher settlement amount if they know that your lawyer will be willing to take the case to trial, if necessary, that they're not getting the settlement numbers that they really expect. I hope this presentation was helpful, and have a great day.